Hello, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the philosophy of military react channels. So strap in or whatever. Let's get started. A quick disclaimer though, everything I'm saying here applies to all react channels for the most part, but I wear this every day to work, so I'm just going to stay in my lane. I'm sure most of you though know these kind of channels I'm talking about, these military react channels. They typically go something like this.
Yo, what is this dude? Yo, this dude up.
They're also just wildly successful, garnering millions of views, and there's a few obvious reasons why that is. The first is that they are incredibly easy to make, and you can crank them out faster than the Duggars can crank out a newborn pretty much. All you gotta do is sit in front of a camera, put on a video, watch it, and then just film your literal reaction to it. That's it. There's no script writing, there's no content creation aspect to it. Pretty simple. Just replay something and give your immediate opinion on it. A reaction of it, if you will. Now you might just think, oh, I just like seeing what their thoughts are on subject Y or subject X, and sometimes they're funny, but there's a little bit more to it, and I'm going to explain that to you. It goes a little bit deeper than you think. Now, this video might start getting a little weirdly abstract, so I'm going to give some background information that goes all the way back to ancient Greece. Yes, like all way back. So say you're a Greek citizen way back in the day, one thing you'd probably enjoy doing would be to go out to a play. Now their plays were pretty standard. You got your sets and your actors on stage doing their thing, but there's an aspect of it that you don't see today, and that is the chorus. Now the chorus in these plays isn't the chorus that's like, you know, at your weekly Sunday service. The chorus in ancient Greek times, in plays specifically, served kind of like a mixture of actors that were acting as if they were audience members, if that makes sense. So for example, there was a joke told on stage, they would all hysterically laugh to the point of tears, or if a character died, they'd all be like wailing and mourning this lost character on stage as like part of the play itself. They would essentially overreact any kind of emotional response that was trying to be portrayed in the play itself. Now you might think that's weird by today's standards, but here, look at this.
What do you say, little mama?
No, thank you, Big Daddy.
And we have that kind of thing in almost any sitcom. Now, less and less of these shows are being made, or at least being watched. You can just look at the popularity curve going down pretty much. And you might think to yourself, oh man, all I do is watch TikToks. I don't watch anything with cheesy laugh tracks. Yeah, well, check this out. Yeah, you're still being emotionally manipulated. I hope it stings a little bit. My argument here is that these military react channels are essentially serving the same purpose. You and whoever is on screen are both watching the clip, forming opinions on it, but due to the nature of the videos, it's likely your opinions will just shift to align with the person that's saying it on screen. Because sitting in front of a camera and speaking with an authoritarian tone can instantly provide most people with the impression that you know what you're talking about, that you're just instantly an expert in what's funny, what's sad, or stupid, or fake, or weak. And yes, with videos like ones that have someone in that specific field, there will be some credence to the reactions, like doctors reacting to medical videos, engineers reacting to engineering stuff, and former military reacting to military videos just due to their background. But there is some fault here. Before I go any further, let me provide just a little bit more background information, theory, story, whatever you want to call it. All of these react channels, these military react channels, can be boiled down to a concept called interpassivity. Now, interpassivity is the idea that certain pieces of art or media perform acts on the audience or the user's behalf. In short, the opposite of interactivity, in which you, the subject scrolling on your phone on the toilet or at work when you should be doing other stuff, are not doing the actual thing. You are allowing the video to do it for you. This idea of interpassivity was largely written about by Robert Fowler and Slavoj Žižek, and how it relates to postmodern psychoanalytic views of technology and media, but let's not overcomplicate things. Let me explain some examples of interpassivity so you actually know what I'm talking about. Let's say you watch one of those like cancerous family vlog channels and they all go to Disney World and you're just soaking it all in. You're living vicariously through them having a good time at Disney World. They're going to Disney World for you. They're enjoying all the characters and the rides for you. That's interpassivity. Let's say you watch a live streamer play a video game or just some Let's Player, and you're enjoying the game even though you're not the one actually playing it. You're not playing the game, but you're still getting enjoyment from it because someone is still playing it for you. That's interpassivity. Finally, let's say through some unfortunate twist of fate, you unironically enjoy those videos where people sit down and eat an inordinate amount of food and say the food looks like it tastes good. That's interpassivity. You're not going to Disney World, you're not playing those video games, and you're certainly not eating 30,000 calories worth of blue-colored ramen, but you're still getting enjoyment out of the content doing it for you. Bam! Interpassivity explained. Okay, cool. Now interpassivity is the entire idea behind the Greek chorus doing its thing and the canned laugh tracks at poor sitcoms. They aren't there to remind you to laugh or to cry or go ooh because someone kissed their crush that's been building up for 2 seasons. They're there to relieve you of having to do that in the first place. It does it for you. You don't have to laugh because the live studio audience did it for you. You don't have to eat 10 pounds of McDonald's. Nikocado Avocado did it for you. And you don't have to watch, absorb, and formulate your own opinion on complex political and military content because internet people did it for you. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is called a smooth transition into our main topic. These military reaction videos are doing the thinking for you. They're watching and formulating opinions so you don't have to. Yeah, you might get some entertainment value because they might say something clever or crack a few jokes, but ultimately that's not what it's for. Because say you're just walking down the street and then like some guy comes up to you and asks, hey man, what are your thoughts on the introduction of space and the shift towards the full spectrum warfare with the DoD's approach to large scale combat operations, known also and referred to as LSCO? And you just got done watching some guy who just thinks we should nuke everyone. You're probably just going to regurgitate what that guy said in a video because he's an expert, because he did 2 years in the National Guard or something. Obvious straw man, but you get my point. Which leads us to another issue of the idea of experts. Again, you see someone that was or is in the military talking about a subject, you're going to just assume they know what they're talking about. It makes sense, but unless they're talking about their very specific expertise, you're more than likely seeing what's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. And this states that if someone knows a little bit about a subject, they often overestimate just how much they actually know about said subject and subjects relating to it. So, for example, if you're just a standard middle-of-the-pack Army infantry officer, you suddenly think you have the right to write pages and pages of scripts covering international relations and complex military subjects at the national and international level. On a serious note, I promise I do an inordinate amount of research on those, so we're good. But the problem here is that you have people that do have some military expertise and experience, but the subjects they're talking about go well beyond any kind of scope of expertise that they would have. My argument here is that if you combine this sense of false expertise with this idea of the impassivity that comes naturally with these kinds of videos, the problems will start to arise. They're watching and formulating opinions for you. Opinions that, due to the nature of, a React channel, these opinions often just come from feelings. And you know how these guys think about feelings. And it's these feelings that are driving the opinions, not some sense of broad spectrum expertise and a large span of subjects. But plenty of people are going to watch a video on how the Army's new M5 is stupid because iron sights, those guys are old. I mean, hell, you can even pick and choose what opinion you want to have that day. These videos are not there to inform you. They are there to entertain you, but people still use them as a source of hard facts and information, or just to reinforce their own biases by only looking at things that they want to hear. Like if they read a headline, they have an immediate feeling about it, and then they go to someone who they know they agree with, it's just going to reinforce that whole echo chamber that the internet happens to be a lot of the times, and not a lot of thinking is going to be happening. Through all this, allowing someone to do the thinking for you is just interpassivity at work, and that's not a good thing. I'm against making full blanket statements. Not all of these channels are bad, and not every video on some of these channels is a bad one, in the sense that some of them just do happen to line up with what they're reacting to something they have real expertise in. There are plenty of content creators out there that are veterans or active duty military or just an expert in the field, reacting to videos but giving real kind of informational feedback. These kinds of people are quick to explain where they're making assumptions and where they have actual information. They're quick to identify areas that they have knowledge gaps. And then a lot of the time, some of the better ones will even provide you with places you can go to find the information that they're pulling from, just so that you know you're not just taking some random internet guy's word for it, and that they're not just giving some brash clickbaity opinion for clicks. I guess ultimately the whole point of this video is me asking for you to do your own research. Don't allow the impassivity that comes with military react channels drive your opinion on how the world actually works in the realm of the military and all the other stuff they decide to react to. Regardless of how like funny they are or not funny most of the time, or like how hardcore and grisly they try to present themselves as being, it's still on you to inform yourself for an educated opinion. Gain perspective that is independent of what just random people on the internet are telling you. Except mine, no, I'm never wrong. That's a fact. So on that note, stay tuned for my next video where I react to the series Band of Brothers and tell you how I could have won the war in like one day. And if you've made it this far, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.